Greetings, anthropology students. No, you're not anthropology. I'm sorry about that. Greetings, students of Social Science 110, future educators of the world. And I know some of you aren't taking this to be a future teacher, and I'm sorry, but I'm really very dedicated to our future teachers. I used to be one, and so, in truth, we all are involved in education. 7 out of 10 Americans are often directly involved in the education system in our country. Now, if you're a parent, you're homeschooling. You're the teacher. Anyway, sorry for the digression. This is a mid-year kind of recap. Greetings. Hope everything's going okay. I meet with some of you guys one-on-one. I just met with somebody earlier today. Adriana. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with proper nouns. I have anomia, I call it. My main point for bothering you today is to remind you about the assignments. There are 2 big ones for this course. One is the resource file. The resource file is comprised of 4 separate resources. I wanted you to submit at least one to me before the end of the semester. And that was the first due date thing that you saw, and there was some anxiety about that. People want to make sure they're getting an A, and the problem is, it's been a problem for me. Here's my intention. The spirit of my request is so that I can just look at what you got and make sure you're getting full credit. So, by the end, you will get all 40 points for all 4 of those resource components. So I just wanted to look at one, now before the end. And so many of you have shared it with me on the Google Drive thing and all that. I would like you to also add it to the Canvas. They have an assignment login, And in the grade book, it might say missing for some of you. Don't worry, nobody's getting any late points this whole semester. You can thank COVID and the fires for that. It's just a blank check, as it were, all right? So don't worry if it says missing or late or whatever. That's not a big deal. So I just wanted one of the 4. Now, some of you probably did all 4. I haven't started grading it yet. I'm sorry to say I'm behind myself. But if you did all 4, I might grade all 4. And then in that first assignment, you might see a 40. And then in the final grade column, you might see a 0. And you'll say, hey, I missed the thing. Some of you might see a 10, it's because you did one of them, and you got 10 points. And basically, I'm not even sure if I have the second and third column anymore, but I'm not worried about that. I don't want you to do it. Do it at your own pace. As long as you've done one, and I know you're on the right track, I'm not going to look at it again until you've done the completed assignment, which is those 4 resources, plus a small little blurb before each, I forget if it's 100 words or something like that. Basically, a little description, an abstract. What am I about to look at? What is this a resource for? The idea there is for you later, My dream is that future teachers will use these resources later, a few years later, which is why if you did it on your own Gmail account, that's fine. That's totally okay because, who's going to keep their Fresno State account after they graduate? So if you didn't submit it in Canvas, please do. That will help me just knock off if I've looked at each of yours or not. And there's a lot of you, so please, do that. Don't worry about it if it's late or not. And then there's another assignment, though. There's another big assignment coming up. That's one of the big ones. The second big one is a lesson plan, okay? It's not within any of the modules, and I'm not kind of stringing you along on the lesson plan thing like I am doing with the resource file. If you want me to do that, next semester I will. I could make it like that. But anyway, do look at the lesson plan thing that's not due until the end of the semester. Just like when the resource file is due and, all the stuff. I put, you have as much time as possible. It's as close to dead days as I could make it, I think. The last day of the semester or whatever. But the point is this. Start thinking about a lesson plan that you could build. I encourage you to build it from one of the 4 resources that you built. If you could build it from 2 of the resources, that's fine. My point is, you don't need to build a 5th set of resources just for this specific lesson plan assignment. If they're all combined together, and you're kind of overlapping, I'm telling you now, that is not plagiarism, that is cleverness, The goal of a good teacher is not to invent all of this new curriculum components, that would make us crazy as teachers. The goal is rather to be adept at finding good resources and turning these resources you find on the web into something very valuable for your specific students. That's where a lot of your value as a future teacher can come out of, Translating these generic things you find somewhere into what specifically works for you and your students. So do look at the lesson plan thing. Do feel free to overlap or take, at least one of the whole resources and build it from that. If you haven't built your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th resource, well then before you do, look at the lesson plan to make sure that you can, kill 2 birds with 1 stone as much as possible. I'm not here to make you jump through a bunch of hoops. I'm really trying to, especially for the teachers, to have you build resources that you actually might consider using in the future. That's success in my terms. Also, there's an extra credit column somewhere that I put 0 out of 10. I realize now, one of you educated me, I could put it, 10 out of 0. So the most you could get is 10, but it's out of 0 because it's extra credit. I'll fix that if I can this semester, which I might not be able to because once the semester starts. But I'll certainly fix it, next time I teach the course. Actually, I'm teaching the course in the summer. If you have any friends who need to take this course for a summer intersession, I'm doing an accelerated version, over the break. How fun. But I think that's everything. There's another cineculture, another extra credit opportunity. Cineculture just started up, and I'll email you about this. It's where you just watch a movie that's educational and culturally, enriching and all that. And you can just write me a sentence or 2 about, the experience. I'm not requiring any big sort of analysis or reflection. I just want proof that you were there. And if you got something out of it or got nothing out of it, that's really between you and you, So that's another extra credit opportunity. That's Cineculture, C-I-N-E culture. It just started up again. They just had a movie last month or a week ago or so, and I think they're going to have 1 or 2 more this semester. So even though in the pandemic, they're just doing it virtually. You can watch a YouTube link or something or watch a movie. I watched the last one. It was pretty good. Okay. Please, again, feel free to text me if you want to Zoom one-on-one. I got tons of free pockets, throughout every day of the week, so it's not hard for me to connect, and or even a short phone call. A short phone call could save you all sorts of anxiety about misunderstanding. Okay, there you go. All the best.